All right, everyone, this is Marco Palmera, founder of Ulysses in Dubai. And in this video, I want to talk with you about the DealFlow service that we provide for companies that wish to enter the UAE or Middle East market. And I want to cover some of the things, some of the perks that companies get access to when they decide to work with us for these DealFlow services that we provide. First of all, let me specify that the DealFlow service that we have at Ulysses is a process that we created out of necessity because we were in the market looking at our own acquisitions and we needed to find a way to predictably source off-market opportunities that we could actually purchase. Shortly thereafter, we realized the model was replicable and it could apply for companies in many different industries, not only in the healthcare field, the sector that we are targeting. And as a consequence of that, we started providing that service to other businesses that wish to access quality acquisitions, investment opportunities in UAE and Middle East. So with all that being said, how is it that we work when we decide to partner with another business and support them with their deal flow and enable them to access the region in a very effective manner? Well, the first step, of course, is the preliminary assessment, which I discussed extensively in other videos. And once we get a clear understanding of what the criteria of the company are in terms of acquisition criteria, KPIs, and so forth, we can then create a strategy that is bespoke and that is specifically crafted towards the company's needs. Once we got that, we can start the execution process. And the way we look at the execution is a very streamlined approach that is focused on giving the company the leverage and the accessibility they need to be really successful in the Middle East. And that is done by leveraging our resources, our network, and our capabilities to identify, select, and present to them off-market deal flow, off-market investment opportunities in the Middle East. Of course, all these opportunities are matching their criteria. And in terms of how we go about the process, we are the ones actually doing the work on your behalf, and you can keep substantially your goals and aspirations confidential until you get to a point where you decide, I want to commit to this deal. I want to step in and try to get this deal done. And we found that to be very helpful for a lot of businesses because many times they wanted to explore opportunities in the Middle East, but they didn't necessarily want to disclose to their competition that they were looking at opportunities in that geography. And so working with somebody like ourselves that can actually do all the groundwork without disclosing a lot of information about the company interest is actually very beneficial because it gives them a lot of insights on the market, including potential opportunities, while at the same time keeping their goals and aspirations confidential. Now, the process that we follow once we onboarded a new company in our DealFlow service is very straightforward. So we identify the criteria, which I already mentioned, and after that, we start executing on the strategy. Generally speaking, we can expect 15-20 days of initial groundwork to get the ball rolling. And after that, we can start seeing some initial results in deal flow that will come to your door. That's why we always work on a minimum 3 months engagement, because deal flow and consistent deal flow really takes some time to be built correctly, especially in the Middle East, and especially if you want to do it off market. With all that being said, after 15-20 days, you will start to receive opportunities from us. They're generally off market. As a matter of fact, most of them are off market. And the goal here is really to create a predictable stream of opportunities for you that you can look at and evaluate, so that you can really focus on what you do best, which is executing on a deal or managing your business back home. But you don't need to get involved in the deal flow process and sourcing all these opportunities, which generally speaking are, take a lot of time to source, and they are quite a tedious process for companies, especially when they come to a new geography. With all that being said, after these 15 days, we generally report to you on a bi-weekly basis so that you can get a clear feeling of where we are in the process and whether or not you wish us to correct our aim and our targeting. So the reporting system will generally provide you insights on either new targets that we have identified or updates on existing opportunities that you already selected. And that is how we keep the cadence going, keep the flow of information going between the two of us. Additionally to that, you also get to join 2 calls on a monthly basis where we can brainstorm ideas, discuss the information that we prepared for you, and ultimately fine-tune the strategy according to your own goals and aspirations. Of course, these calls can be immediately after we submitted the report. They can be in other times of the month. It all comes down to you. These calls are available for you so that we can continuously keep in contact and discuss opportunities as they present themselves, or just discuss updates that might be relevant to you in your business. What happens once we have identified suitable candidates and you're ready to step into the game and start negotiating these deals? Well, as I mentioned, we give companies a high level of freedom and flexibility because we're not an intermediary. So we focus on deal flow, and from that moment on, you can take over the transaction if you decide that you wish to pursue it and have a one-on-one relationship with the seller. And that's really a very important thing to mention because many companies find it to be tremendously valuable. They don't like to deal with intermediaries, even if they know them well, or even if it is somebody like us. They would rather take control of the transaction and discuss with the owner directly. And that's ultimately what we enable them to do. Of course, if you wish us to be involved, we can do that, but that is a side service that we might be able to provide. The point is, the DealFlow service gets you to the point where you can select the targets and start executing on the transaction. You have all the data that enables you to say, okay, I want to step in and work on this deal to get it done. From that moment on, you take over the transaction and you work on it as you wish. With all that being said, this is the most important and crucial step of the entire deal flow continuum from my perspective. The moment where we pass on the relationship to you and we connect you with the owners directly. What we've seen is that many times companies wish to have a session either in Dubai or in the UAE or in the Middle East for that matter, where they come in and they spend, let's say, 1 week or 1 week and a half visiting the places they have selected for acquisitions so that they can really step into the game and see the assets for real. We are including that in our DealFlow support system because that's the final step and the last thing that we work on together. So the moment you decide to come in to the UAE or the Middle East, then we support you in scheduling these meetings and making the relative introductions. And from that moment on, you can decide you want to take over the transaction and run it on your own. Happy with that. We've done our job for you, and we're happy to continue sourcing deals while you try to get this transaction done. Or we can also get involved in the sale process and help you in negotiating the transaction with the seller. That, of course, is totally up to you, and we give our clients a high level of flexibility from that perspective. So to summarize, what is it that companies get access to when they work with us for the deal flow opportunities that they look to get in the Middle East? First of all, access to off-market deal flow, transactions that are not available in the market, that are not listed on any site, that might be looking to exit their business, but they might not necessarily say that out loud. Built through relationships, through our network, transactions that are generally very, very solid and they have less competition compared to the ones listed on the open market. That's the most important thing. Once we get your criteria and we can start selecting these opportunities, after 15, 20 days, you can start seeing leads coming in, if we want to call them this way. And from that moment on, we report to you bi-weekly, either new opportunities or updates on the opportunities. Alongside these updates, you get 2 calls per month where we go over the details. We might adjust the strategy slightly, and we discuss to you the information that we collected so far. The process in and of itself is generally an engagement of minimum 3 months, because DealFlow does take a solid amount of time to be built correctly. And after that, once you reach the point where you have selected transactions that you wish to execute on, we support you in taking care of the introductions. If you wish to travel to the UAE or the Middle East to visit the facilities, we facilitate that process for you. And from that moment on, you take control of the deal and you can execute on it as you wish. So this is like a summary of what our DealFlow service is all about. Again, it's pretty sector agnostic, and we developed it out of necessity because we had to create a strategy for ourselves that was working and that was not based on conventional wisdom. It needed to be a creative solution to source deals in a predictable way and have deals that are actually solid and not competitive. And so that's how we came up with this solution that we're now able to provide to other companies like yourself. If you're interested in it, make sure you check the link in the description. There will be a place where you can apply for this. Generally, we take on only a few engagements per quarter because of the nature of the engagement. And since we create bespoke solution for each client, we want to make sure we can deliver at the highest level. And so we only work with a few clients each quarter. But having said that, provided there are available slots, we'll be happy to take the call and see how we can help you enter the UAE and Middle East market through investment or acquisition of businesses that are in the market or that might not necessarily be in the market in this particular case. So again, if you're interested in that, make sure you check the link below. You'll find more information about the way to apply, and I will see you in the next video.